Hello and welcome back to another Friday episode of World Traveler Cooking. Today we're going to try to make, I'm sure we will make, East German style Jägerschnitzel, referring to like the East German Deutsche Demokratische Republik. Now the thing you have to understand about life in the DDR was that you couldn't just like go to the store and buy whatever you wanted. Very oftentimes availability of various foods was limited, and so people became very creative about cooking with what they easily had on hand. We've already covered the DDR-style solyanka. Today we will cover the Jägerschnitzel. I actually think that this is one of the dishes which you can see influencing modern German cuisine. In particular, I would argue that this is one of the antecedents to Currywurst, which we will probably cover another time. Now, the issue is traditionally, of course, Wiener Schnitzel is made from veal, but German Schnitzel is usually made from, pork cutlets that are then pounded thin, breaded and fried, and then sometimes served with various sauces or just lemon juice, depending upon the type of schnitzel. And in West German cuisine, Jägerschnitzel is a pork schnitzel that's served with a creamy mushroom sauce. However, in East German cuisine, under the DDR, they would take Jagdwurst and they would make schnitzel out of it. So obviously Jagdwurst schnitzel would be Jägerschnitzel. So different etymology, different approach, same name for, somewhat different reasons. So we're going to make this today. The ingredients are relatively simple, and I should add salt and pepper to what we have here. But we'll have this Jagdwurst. We have some flour, breadcrumbs, eggs, and that's basically it for the schnitzel. Then typically this will be served with fusilli, but I'm not going to do fusilli today. I will probably just, I'll probably do a demo with some rice because I have that easily on hand. And you know what? I'm pretty sure East Germans used what they had on hand. So, the sauce will be some tomato paste, ketchup, and onion. Okay? So, let's go ahead and get started. We'll set up our breading line and get ready to set up our frying station, and we'll go from there. So the first step is to cut our schnitzel. Some people do it in rounds, but I think it's much better cut oblong. So I'm going to cut this first part off here. This will make a small piece that we can use for a taste. And I'm just going to slice the entire log like this. And once I get that done, I'm going to pull the casing off because this is a plastic casing, and we'll be left with pieces that are more or less like this. And if you look at it, they're like maybe a little more or a little less than a centimeter thick, and I'll do that with all these and then I'll be back. So I've decided to do 2 onions here, so I'm just going to cut them up. I'm going to dice them, and then I will start sauteing them. This is for the sauce in a pot, and I'll be back. Butter in a pan, and now I'm going to add my onions. This is half of them, and I'll add the other half in just a second. And we're just going to cook these for a while, let them cook down, and basically stir them so they just, they cook down very nicely. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. So here we have all of our onions, and I will just keep stirring it occasionally, but it doesn't have to be stirred constantly, so we can set up the rest of our process here. But maybe it would be good if we wait a few minutes first, just so that these have a chance to really cook down. So I'll let these cook down. Once I add the tomato, then I'll start the schnitzel. So here you can see these onions are starting to brown a bit. I'm going to let them brown even a little more, and then I will add the tomatoes to that. Now, I think some people might add red peppers to this also. That would probably be really good, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to cook this down with it. I'm going to start with one of these 125 gram bags of ketchup, and I'm just going to squeeze it in. I'll probably add 2 of these, I'm guessing. Yeah, I'm just going to start with 2. And stir that in. And then I'm going to add some of the tomato paste. I'll stir this together and then I will thin it out with some water. Then we will go ahead and get the yeah, here we go. I'll thin this out with some water, and then we'll go ahead and get the schnitzel started. And for the consistency, I just say add some water, stir, bring to a boil, repeat until you have the consistency you like. If it's too thin, you're just going to have to boil it off a little bit. So I think this needs a bit more water, and we'll just keep this up, and I'll show you the consistency I like it at. So this is bordering on too thin, but it should actually be really good. You definitely don't want it too thick. So this is probably about right. I would say it looks kind of, the consistency of tomato sauce you'd get at the store. Should be about right here. So this is what we'll use. And now on to starting the schnitzel. Now, in East German cooking, this is called Brandmann sauce or fireman sauce. Probably because it's red. I don't know, but that's what it's called. You could also serve it with lecho. I have a recipe for that in my channel. I'll link to that in the description as well. So we're going to go ahead and just let this to cook for a little bit, and I think in about 15 minutes I'll start the schnitzel. I could start it now though. Doesn't really matter. So now I'll show you my breading lineup. I have flour. I have 2 eggs that I've seasoned with salt and pepper. They're looking a little sad right now, but such happens sometimes. And then over here I have my breadcrumbs, and I'll just coat, and then take them over and put them in the fryer. So here I have a wok with some oil in it. Normally German schnitzel is fried in clarified butter, but I don't know how well that worked in DDR times, so we will just use vegetable oil. Once this is hot, I will start the initial pieces. And as always, I start with some little pieces to test the temperature. Once they're frying nicely, I'll add some more. And now we have a round that's cooking nicely. I'm going to cook up one more, and then we can do the taste test. So normally this would be served with like fusilli or something. I'm not going to do that for the taste test. I am going to put some sauce on the outside because I'm going to taste this with this sauce. You can even drape a little bit of sauce over the top if you like for effect. So here is our DDR-style Jägerschnitzel. Next up, the taste test. Looks very nice inside. I'm going to taste a little bit first without the sauce. This is very, very pleasant. Very rich. Crispy on the outside, rich on the inside, very nice. I'm going to try putting a little bit in the sauce. It's interesting. You get a bit less crunch with the sauce, obviously, but the sauce actually makes it taste richer. This is really, really very nice. So if you find this content interesting, please like, share, and subscribe. In addition, if you make a dish like this and you make it a little differently, I'd love to hear the variations. I think we all become better cooks in that process. Additionally, recipes in the description. Bon appetit, and see you next week.